I used to sit for hours staring at a blank page, planning every detail of a project that never seemed ready. I'd tweak, rethink, adjust, and then do nothing. Most of us are trapped in the cycle of perfection, afraid to fail, scared to start. Months pass, years even, and the ideas that could change everything never leave the notebook. Then I discovered Elon Musk's secret. And it wasn't about building rockets or electric cars. It was about something far more powerful: the speed of learning. I decided to try his iteration secret for myself, to see what would happen if I focused not on perfection, but on action, on trying fast, failing fast, and learning faster. And what I discovered completely changed the way I take action, make progress, and actually get things done. So, who is this guy behind Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink? Elon Musk isn't just a billionaire or a tech visionary. He's a human experiment in pushing boundaries. He doesn't wait for perfect conditions. He doesn't plan endlessly. While the rest of the world hesitates, he moves fast, relentlessly. And every misstep isn't a failure, it's a lesson, a data point, a stepping stone to something bigger. His biggest secret? It isn't innovation itself. It isn't genius or luck. It's speed. The speed to try, fail, learn, and try again. That's the principle that turns bold ideas into reality faster than anyone else. Most people think success is about getting it right the first time. They plan, polish, and prepare, hoping that the first attempt will be perfect. Musk sees it completely differently. To him, success isn't about avoiding mistakes, it's about making them faster. He treats failure like a feedback loop, not a dead end. Every setback is information. Every crash, every malfunction, every wrong turn is data that shortens the path to success. Take SpaceX, for example. Rockets exploded. A lot. But each explosion wasn't just destruction, it was a lesson. Each failure taught the engineers something new, something crucial, and brought them one step closer to a working launch. Fail fast, learn faster isn't about celebrating mistakes. It's about using them to accelerate learning, to iterate faster than anyone else, to turn an idea into reality before the competition even finishes planning. And it's not just rockets or Teslas. This principle applies to any project, any goal, any dream. It's about moving quickly, trying, testing, failing, learning, and trying again, constantly, relentlessly. So I decided to try it myself, but on a smaller scale. I wanted to take Musk's idea of iteration velocity and see what would happen if I stopped polishing and started shipping. For 7 days, I did one thing differently. I chose action over perfection. No long plans, no waiting for the right moment, just build, test, learn, repeat. Day 1, draft, don't decorate. I took an idea I'd been circling for months and forced myself to make a raw draft in an hour. No formatting, no fancy images, no second guessing. It looked rough, like sketches on a napkin, and honestly, I felt a little embarrassed, but it existed. That tiny, ugly thing was suddenly real and useful in a way my polished notes never were. Day 2, show it to people who don't owe you compliments. I sent the draft to 3 friends and asked for brutal honesty. No, that's great, aloud. Their feedback was sharp, blunt, and most importantly, actionable. One comment cut through a week of thinking and pointed to the exact place I was overcomplicating things. That kind of quick, honest feedback is worth more than months of solitary polishing. Day 3, strip away everything that doesn't help. Armed with real criticism, I removed the fluff. I deleted sections I loved, but that didn't serve the core idea. It stung a little. Letting go of nice-to-haves is always weird, but the result felt cleaner. The concept now had a spine. It was clearer, faster, and easier to test. Day 4, feel the awkwardness. Learn from it. When I showed the leaner version to a small group, I felt exposed. People asked questions I hadn't prepared for. I wanted to retreat and fix everything before anyone judged me further. Instead, I sat with the shame for a minute, wrote down the questions, and used them as a map. That uncomfortable feeling, the "this is raw" sting, turned out to be a compass pointing to real problems. Day 5, tested in the real world. I launched a tiny pilot, a simple landing page, a short email, and a small ad spend. Nothing glamorous. The first data came back noisy and imperfect, but it revealed 2 things immediately: what worked and what didn't. That quick feedback loop let me adjust that same day instead of waiting weeks for a polished rollout. Day 6, find the weak link and fix it fast. The pilot highlighted a clear bottleneck, a confusing step that lost people. Instead of reworking the whole thing, I rewired that piece, tested a new version, and watched the metrics nudge in the right direction. This is the moment Musk talks about. One failure, one fix, one lesson, and you're a little closer to a product that actually works. Day 7, ship a working, imperfect result. By the end of the week, I had something that functioned. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't perfect, but it worked. And the wild part? I learned more in those 7 messy days than I had in months of planning. I had real data, real user reactions, and real momentum. Every failure along the way felt less like a setback and more like a shortcut. Instead of wasting time guessing which change would matter, I was getting direct signals from the world. Each small stumble told me exactly where to focus next. That's the power of moving fast. You trade long, safe guesses for quick, real answers. And that's when it hit me. Perfection had always felt noble, like a sign of high standards. But in reality, it was just fear wearing a fancy suit. Fear of being judged, fear of failing, fear of facing the truth about what works and what doesn't. Perfection is slow, progress is messy. But movement, even clumsy, uncertain movement, beats stagnation every single time. Because when you move, you learn. And when you learn faster than everyone else, you stop competing. You start compounding. That's what Musk understands better than almost anyone alive. He doesn't wait for flawless plans or perfect timing. He builds, breaks, learns, and builds again. The rockets that explode aren't signs of failure. They're receipts of progress. Every burnt prototype, every crash, every back to square one moment is proof that he's moving faster than fear. The real innovators aren't the smartest. They're the fastest learners. And that's where Musk's magic really lies. Not in technology, not in genius, but in iteration. So here's your challenge. Take one idea you've been sitting on, the one you keep perfecting, planning, waiting for the right time. And this week, make it real. Not perfect, not polished, just real. Build your MVP, your minimum viable product. Give yourself 7 days. No endless notes, no color-coded calendars. Create, test, learn, repeat. Because you'll learn more in one messy week than in 6 months of getting ready. And that small, imperfect version you build today could be the seed of something extraordinary tomorrow. When you're done, could you share it in the comments? Tell us what you built, what broke, and what you learned. We'll celebrate every misstep and success, because that's how real progress begins. And here's something I didn't expect to discover. When you stop fearing failure, something shifts inside you. The tension fades, the pressure disappears, and suddenly you start to enjoy the process. You stop chasing perfection and start feeling the quiet joy of creation itself. That's the secret layer of innovation no one talks about. It's not just about building faster, it's about falling in love with learning again. When mistakes become experiments and every setback feels like progress, that's when you know you've crossed the line, from fear to freedom. If this lesson sparked something in you, don't stop here. Every great mind leaves a trail of wisdom behind. And in our Life Lessons Unpacked series, we decode those secrets, one story at a time. From Goggins' mental toughness to Musk's fearless iteration, each one holds a piece of the same puzzle: how to grow, how to adapt, and how to win your inner game. So if you're ready for the next breakthrough, explore the other stories in the series, because the next insight might just change how you see success forever. Remember this: fail fast, learn faster, because the only real mistake is not starting.